Today we are in Charlottesville, Virginia, and right now we are at the Rivanna Ridge Shopping Center here, which has some amazing views of downtown Charlottesville and the Blue Ridge Mountains in the background. And in today's video, I'm going to take you not that way, but that way, about a mile or two into one of Charlottesville's most luxurious neighborhoods, which is actually just outside the Charlottesville city limits, and that is Ashcroft. Now, the Ashcroft neighborhood sits on a hill itself and has many of the beautiful views that you see behind me, as well as Monticello and many other places. And if you hang around until the end of the video, I'm going to take you to a place and tell you about the Charlottesville connection to the Grand Duchess of Russia, Anastasia. Yes, that Anastasia. The one that my kids, my girls used to grow up watching, you know, the Disney princess. But unfortunately, the story here, it doesn't have that fairy tale ending. It's a story of deceit, believer admiration, and romance that ends in utter squalor. So, hang around until the end of the video when I share with you the sad, sad tale of Charlottesville's Anastasia. But before we do all that, let's go ahead and get started right now. Hi, my name's Stephen. Along with my wife Leslie, we are local real estate agents here in the Shenandoah Valley in Charlottesville, areas of Virginia. And it has just been our honor to help folks all the time, just like you, who have reached out and called us, texted us, or emailed us because you've seen our videos and you're looking to buy a home or you sell a home. So if that's you, we'd be honored to help you as well. All of the information is in the description below, so don't hesitate. Reach out, call us, text us, email us anytime, and we'd be honored to help you as well. Additionally, if you like our channel, if you like going and seeing the neighborhoods and homes here in the area, but you also like going to some of the events and some of the fun things around the area, and maybe even learning a little bit about the history of some of the unique residents here of Charlottesville and the people of the area, we'd love it if you'd click that subscribe button, touch that bell icon, so you don't miss a minute of Virginia Mountain Valley living and all that we do to show off our great area in which we live. Now, as I mentioned, today we are going into the Ashcroft neighborhood. Now, it's a very, very upscale, elegant neighborhood, but I mentioned at the beginning of the video that I was at the Rivanna Ridge Shopping Center. Well, Rivanna Ridge Shopping Center has a giant food store. It has other shops here as well. There's a Chipotle restaurant, there's a Starbucks, and then there's all sorts of streets up and down all sorts of businesses up and down Highway 250 here to include all the shopping that you're probably ever going to need here in the Pantops area. So from the Pantops area, the neighborhood, as I said, we're going to talk about is over there, and you're only about 5 minutes from where we are right now. Additionally, if you need to get up to Interstate 64, it's only about 5 minutes down the road as well. If you want a hospital nearby, Martha Jefferson Hospital is about 5 minutes away as well. Additionally, to get to downtown Charlottesville, it's going to take you about 10 minutes. It's going to take you about 15 minutes to get down to the Rotunda at UVA and about 15 minutes to get over to the Highway 29 shopping strip in case you can't find it here in the Pantops area. So let's go ahead, let's leave this beautiful view behind because I know we're going to see some on top of the hill up there in Ashcroft, but I'm telling you, you really want to hang around for the end of this video to learn about Charlottesville's Anastasia. It's quite a story. All right, so we are here in the Ashcroft neighborhood, and we are up on one of the streets here that's up on a ridge overlooking both sides of the ridge here. And that's one of the unique things about the Ashcroft neighborhood that's different than many of the Charlottesville neighborhoods is the fact that it's set on this foothills mountain just to the east of Charlottesville, and gives you some absolutely beautiful views of Monticello, Charlottesville itself, the plains out to the west of town and everything. So you actually have some, like I said, just look through there. I mean, some absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous views looking north there. And now this neighborhood is only accessible by one entrance at the beginning of the neighborhood, making it much more private, and it does have different streets that branch off from the main drag that runs through the neighborhood. Some amenities, there's a private swimming pool here. There's a clubhouse, pickleball courts. There's walking trails through the neighborhood as well. And the community itself has about 275 homes or sites for homes, and homes are still being built today here in this neighborhood. Additionally, there's a couple lakes here in the neighborhood. So like I say, plenty of activities and things to do, and all come with those beautiful views in many of these homes. Now, home values range from about $700,000 all the way up to about $2,500,000. And the build dates, the total square footage of homes here ranges from about 2,500 square feet all the way up to about 10,000 total square feet in the home. So some large homes up here. Build dates started back in 1981. And like I say, they're still building today in 2025. Most of the lots in this neighborhood are between 1 and 3 acres. So, like I said, just look at some of the, through the woods there. You have private settings, and turn around, look around there. It's just a beautiful, beautiful neighborhood perched up here on this hill. So with that being said, let's go ahead. I'm gonna go down the hill just a little bit here and take a look at our first home in this neighborhood. All right, so our first home that I want you to take a look at today is this beautiful home set on this wooded lot right here in the middle of the neighborhood. And it is currently active on the market. It's listed for $1,195,000. It was built in 1998. It has 5 bedrooms, 3 full baths and 1 half bath. It has 4,599 square feet of finished living space, of which 3,419 is above ground. And it sits on a 2.17 acre lot. Now, imagine that quiet wooded setting here in this neighborhood. Now, they say, the story that I want to tell you at the end of the video today is a little bit longer than the stories I'd normally tell you. So rather than go through a long speech about each of the homes today, what I want to do is I just want to go ahead and I want to show you the pictures. They're worth 1,000 words anyway, right? So let's take a look at the pictures of this home and then the next home that we'll take a look at, so that we can get to that story at the end of this video. All right, so for our second home here, it's coming up here, hidden in the trees there a little bit on my left-hand side. This home is currently active on the market. It's listed for $2,950,000. It was built in 2004. It has 4 bedrooms, 4 full baths, and 2 half baths. It has 5,321 square feet of space, of which 4,064 is above ground, and it sits on a 1.51 acre lot. Now, like I say, some of these homes here are set on these ridges or up against into the back of the woods there. And if you look out over there, you can't really see it through the trees. There's some beautiful views out back. And this home is a totally remodeled Park Street style home. So let's go inside and let's take a look at some of the pictures of this beautiful home. Well, I hope you enjoyed the Ashcroft neighborhood. You know, it truly is an amazing neighborhood with the homes that are older homes and some newer homes and set up on that mountainside with the beautiful views of the area. And I mean, just a really special and unique neighborhood. And but at the beginning of the video, I gave you a little hook about a unique story here in the Charlottesville area. So, what is Charlottesville's connection to the Grand Duchess Anastasia Romanov, youngest daughter of the last Tsar of Russia? Well, many of you have probably seen the 1997 Disney movie that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, or perhaps the 1956 movie by the same name where Ingrid Bergman portrayed the Anastasia character that was loosely based, with plenty of fictional embellishment, on a woman by the name of Anna Anderson, who claimed to be Anastasia Romanov. But for the full story, we need to go back to Russia in 1917. For nearly 400 years, Russia had been a monarchy ruled by czars. But that came to an end on March 8, 1917, when communist Bolsheviks overthrew the monarchy and later slaughtered the czar, his wife, and their 5 children, including Anastasia. Now, while that would seem like the end of the story, we all know that it's not. And that's because her body was never actually identified or found until 2007, which led people to speculate that perhaps she had escaped and was living incognito somewhere in the world. And that sets the stage for Franziska Szynkowska. Franziska, having moved to Berlin from Poland in 1914, was a person whose life was filled with great trauma. Her German boyfriend was killed in battle, and while she was working in a German munitions factory, she had a grenade slip out of her hand, injuring herself and killing a co-worker. These traumas led her to being institutionalized in a mental hospital. She was later moved to a Russian internment camp where she likely picked up some of the Russian language, although over the years she would usually refuse to speak it. Now, after spending time in the internment camp, she was back in Berlin in 1920, where she again attempted suicide by jumping off a bridge. Now, of course, she was safe, but she was once again institutionalized, and this is where the Anastasia part of the story really begins. Upon her arrival at the asylum, she would not give anyone her name, so she was called Miss Unknown. Now, while at the mental institution, there was another patient who fancied her as the Grand Duchess Anastasia of Russia. Well, since Anastasia's body was yet to be found and identified, word spread, and Russian people in Germany, the Romanov family members, and others became interested if indeed this was Anastasia. Now, she was released from the asylum in 1922 and gave herself the name Anna Anderson, and was also called Anna Tchaikovsky, which was the name of the soldier who she said had rescued her when her family was killed. Well, the story of Anastasia spread like wildfire. The press also perpetuated her story many times throughout the years, and throughout the next 50 years, and even though a private investigator revealed that she was likely Franziska Szynkowska, there were still multiple European royals and Romanov family members and friends of the family who met Anastasia Anderson. Many categorically denied her being Anastasia, while others indeed believed that she was the Grand Duchess. Now, the belief of some allowed her to be invited into multiple homes and multiple locations in Europe over the course of the next 50 years through the benevolence of several of those individuals. Now, during that time, she never wavered from her claim to being Anastasia. And she even filed for official recognition as Anastasia, something that was never really decided by German courts. Now, that leads us to 1968. By this time, she had largely become a recluse while living in Germany and was found barely conscious in her rapidly decaying home and was taken to a Nuremberg hospital. Now, as for her home, her Irish Wolfhound, and her 60 cats had to be euthanized. And her house was ordered to be cleaned by the local health board because of its filthy condition. Now, from here, she turned to one of her supporters who lived in Charlottesville, Virginia, Gleb Botkin, whose offer to bring her to the United States was financed by history professor Jack Manahan, also known as John Ecott. Now, she came to the United States on a 6-month visa, and just before the visa ran out, Jack, who was 20 years younger than Anna, married her. They quickly became known around the Charlottesville area as a very eccentric couple. Anna believing herself to be Anastasia, and officially she was Anastasia Manahan, and Jack, who often called himself the Grand Duke in waiting, and they lived in University Circle here in Charlottesville. The house they lived in was a house that turned into a home of squalor. And surprise, they had a large number of cats and dogs on the property, as well as a lot of rats. And there were piles of garbage around the property, in spite of the fact that Jack was a wealthy man. Now, in 1979, Anastasia Manahan had a tumor removed at Martha Jefferson Hospital, and then in 1983, with both of them in poor health, it was deemed that Jack Manahan could no longer care for Anna, and she was placed in the psychiatric ward at Blue Ridge Hospital. Now, several days later, afraid that she would never be released from the hospital, Jack broke into the institution and whisked Anna away. They were now fugitives on the run in their station wagon. And for the next 3 days, the couple ate at convenience stores around the area, while 13 neighboring states were informed to be on the lookout for the couple. Eventually, they were found near the town of Amherst, Virginia, where they were living out of the back of their station wagon that had broken down. Well, after that, Anna was put in Martha Jefferson Hospital, where she had other health complications and later died of pneumonia in 1984, and Jack died 6 years later in 1990. But what of her claim to have been the Grand Duchess Anastasia? Well, in 1994, several of the bodies that had been found in the forest where the Tsar and his family had been killed were DNA tested, and indeed found to be that of Tsar Nicholas II, his wife, and 3 children. But wait, we're still missing 2 children, one of which was Anastasia. Well, finally, 90 years later, after the Bolshevik Revolution in 2007, 2 additional bodies were found near the area of the other Romanov bodies. One boy, who was the youngest child, and a young woman. Using a sample of Anna's intestine removed from her surgery at Martha Jefferson Hospital in 1979, along with a locket of her hair that was kept in an envelope in a book owned by Jack Manahan, DNA testing proved that Anna Anderson was not the Grand Duchess of Russia, thus bringing a final close to a story of identity deceit, admiration by hopefuls, romance, and years of eccentric behavior by none other than Franziska Shenskowska, but better known over the years by multiple names, including Anna Anderson, Anna Tchaikovsky, and of course, Anastasia Manahan. And today, this grave in Charlottesville in the UVA cemetery marks Jack's final resting place, with Anastasia Manahan's name inscribed on the monument. However, the ashes of Franziska Shenskowska are interned at Castle Sion in Bavaria, Germany today, which is one of the locations in which she spent time granted to her by one of her believers over the years. Well, I told you that this story didn't have a Disney happy ending, but I hope you found it to be quite remarkable and unusual like I did. You know, something that gives a twist to how unique the lives of others are, and just life itself can really be interesting. And I also hope that you enjoyed the neighborhood and the homes in the Ashcroft neighborhood. with its larger homes, good sized lots, and its convenient location. It's a great neighborhood if you're looking for upscale living in the Charlottesville area. And if you're looking for someone to help when finding a home here in the area, Leslie and I would be honored to help. All of our information is in the description below, so please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're always available to help you. Well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and leave the story of the would-be Anastasia here in Charlottesville. I'm going to leave it now, and I'm going to get back to a more centered reality. And no, I'm not the king of a foreign country. I'm just Stephen Gleason of Virginia Mountain to Valley Living, here to help folks like you. So until next time, when we take another look at our awesome area, I'll see you around town.